For dinner tonight, I'd like you to make me some fried chicken. I have to work as well tomorrow, so make sure not to make it spicy this time. But I do want it to have a little bit of a zing to it, so maybe throw a little bit of lime flavoring into the... So no spice and a lot of lime this time. If I can have myself that zing when I get home from work today, I'll be a very happy husband, Monica.
I'm sorry, Brent, but I've already started working on dinner for tonight, and it's not going to be fried chicken this time.
Huh? Why are you not making what your husband wants to eat? This is a Wednesday, right?
Did we decide that every Wednesday is supposed to be a fried chicken day?
Would you put a little thought into things for me, please? Wednesday happens to be the middle of the week, right? And there is only another 2 days left of work before I'm able to have my weekend. In other words, that means I want to eat something fried, and with a lot of exciting flavor to it. That excitement will then leave me with enough energy to get through Thursday and Friday, and I'll be at the weekend after that. So I need to have that zing to my day today, or else I won't be able to make it through my week.
But last week when it was the middle of the week, you told me you wanted something a little more relaxing so that you could have time to calm down and finish the rest of your week, right?
That was me then, and this is me now. Why do you always have to bring up the past when we are in the present now?
What?
All right? You are my wife. And that means every day you were to look at how I'm feeling before I head into work and decide what to make me based off that. You better start doing that right now.
Hold on a minute, Brent. I'm working a job myself, right? And that means I don't always have time to think about every little detail regarding you and your wants. If you have something you'd like to eat, please tell me a day or two before, or at the very least on the morning of, okay? But even on a day off, I'll most likely to go back to the store after I finish my work and put even more money that we don't really have into groceries.
You can make time to get me what I want. You barely even work enough hours in a day to make any money, so you have all the time in the world to think about me. You're just trying to be a selfish little brat right now. I have to work full-time 40 hours or more a week, and you think you having to work that small job is going to have me listening to you? Forget it. You're better off just leaving that job and staying home all day to get your real job done. Cleaning and cooking.
I'd really love to work full-time though.
If you started to work full-time, then you'd never be home in time to make me my favorite dinners and get the bath ready for me. You are more than okay living off the money I bring in, so there is no need for you to be working at all.
Well, if you don't want me working anymore, could you raise the amount of money I spent on groceries and the house a bit more? To be honest, with the amount you give me right now, it's a little tough to afford everything. Right now, I'm having to use the money I'm making to balance things out so that I can afford all the things we both need.
Are you a freaking idiot or something? That right there is you telling me you're such an idiot that you don't even know how to balance out your checkbook to make ends meet with what I'm giving you.
Why would you say things like that? I have been putting in a lot of work balancing things out with my money and yours. But I can't just give you the food you want 3 hours before dinner without having to go back to the store to spend more money on buying more food. You have to see that with the money I have right now, the best way to spend it well is to only stop at the store once or twice a week and buy everything then.
But by doing that, you're putting good food to waste. None of it is going to be fresh like I want. And as the husband of the house, I only want to be eating the freshest foods. You are really making a fool of yourself here. And with that, dinner today is going to be fried chicken.
And I've just told you a little bit ago that I've already started making something else for dinner, and that there is no changing what's for dinner now.
Well, then scrap all that you've started on now and make me that fried chicken instead.
Well, I'm on my way back to my parents' house at the moment anyway, so that's not going to happen.
Huh? You're going to your parents' house?
Yesterday, my mom had a bad fall and ended up breaking her arm while trying to comfort her fall. We talked about this already, right? And because of that, it's been hard for her at home. So right after work today, I already got dinner going in a crock pot for you, and it will be ready by dinner time. So I'm on my way to see my mom for a bit, and I'll be back home later.
You're going there now? The reason I'm allowing you not to have to work a whole lot right now is not to let you go to your parents' house and spoil them.
I am not doing this to spoil them. I'm going there to make sure the chores can get done for my mom.
Let me tell you this right now. If I get home and my dinner isn't ready and the bath isn't hot, things are going to be bad for you.
I plan to be back home by the time you get out of work, alright?
I'm not allowing you to go to your parents' house today. You come back to our house right now and get back to making my dinner properly and finishing up any other chores you have there. You listen to what I'm saying right now, woman.
What? What do you mean you're not allowing this? I will make sure everything is done properly today, okay? Is it so bad for me to go over and help my mom out a little in the meantime? My mom is living on her own now.
Well, you happen to have an older sister living a lot closer to her house, right?
And this week she's been on vacation with her family because she has time off work.
Then ask someone in their neighborhood to help her.
Someone in her neighborhood? There is nobody living close enough to her out there in the countryside for me to ask to go help her. That's why I'm on my way to her place now. I'm also just worried about how my mom is doing and want to see her with my own eyes.
You are a part of my family now, and you're my wife, which means that my family comes first, and I'm like your king. So that means you will listen to me before anyone else, and will only pay attention to me and my side of the family.
Are you kidding?
If you keep this up, I'm going to do the same thing your dad did to your mom and divorce you.
Excuse me?
If you do not want me divorcing you, then listen to what I'm saying. You don't want to end up like your mom, being thrown away by her husband and left for dead, right? If you still plan on going to her house, I'm going to print out the divorce paper and fill it all out. Now I'm getting back to work. I really hope you can make the right choice and come back home to make me that fried chicken I've asked for.
Mom, how are you feeling? I was able to get those pain medications from the doctor that I asked for. So as of right now, my arm is not hurting one bit and I'm doing fine. And as for today, you're more than welcome to stay at your house, Monica. Are you sure? I was planning on coming there to help you out right now. You broke your dominant arm, so there's no way you'll be alright on your own. But be it as it may, I'm going to be fine. Actually, my younger sister found out about me getting hurt and has to come over to take care of me. Wait, are you talking about Aunt Vanessa? Well, don't call her an aunt like that or she'll get a little upset. She still likes to think of herself as being young and would rather have just called her Vanessa. Anyway, she's going to be here with me for a week. Well, I'm relieved to hear that you have someone there with you then. Actually, when I was talking with Brent about how I'd be coming to your place today, he told me that I'm his wife and that I'm supposed to only care about his needs. And he told me not to go to your house at all. He doesn't want you to come see me? That's a little bit strange for him to say, right? I told him that I've been worried about you and that I wanted to come home and see how you were doing. I'm sorry for getting you all worked up over me. But hearing that Aunt Vanessa will be there with you has made me feel a little bit better about it. She happens to be really good at cooking. Well, she happened to work as a chef at one point in her life. Well, if that's the case, then she knows how to make you all sorts of healthy meals. You happen to also have a lot of things you hate eating, right? Don't say that like I'm a child about it, though. Anyway, Monica, I really don't want to have to ask this, but are things between you and Brent all right? What do you mean by that? Well, we are texting right now, so I'm not sure what kind of face you've been making. But make sure not to overdo things there, okay? If you have something you need to say to him, say it. And if he's going to be rude about something, you don't have to sit around and listen to him about it. And I know that. Times when I've gone over to your guys' house, and times when you've both come over here, I've noticed something. That man never seems to want to do anything, right? It's his own house over there, yet he always has you do everything for him. He tends to act like the dominant husband most of the time. I have not really been around Brent all too much, and so I'm not too sure what is up with him, but men that tend to want to be dominant husband are no good to you. They are very selfish and do not care how they treat you when it comes to benefiting themselves. I happen to have experience of that myself, so don't ignore what I'm saying here. When you were with Dad? Well, that man happened to cheat on me when he was out of the house with other women. And he would rarely, ever put any of his money into the house and family, instead using it to go out with them. He told me he could do whatever he wanted with his time and money because he was the man of the house and the pillar that kept it all up. He made me feel as though it was my job as his wife to support him no matter what. That's why you ended up divorcing him, right? I regret it now. I should have done something about him a whole lot sooner than I did. I wasn't ever able to get myself to want a divorce from him, and that's what led you to having to live through more of his crap. And as I was trying to still make up my mind on whether to divorce him or not, he had left the house and joined a new woman. I understand that those were hard times for you, Mom. He didn't even leave us anything, not even a word or guilt for what he has done to us. And ever since that day, he has not said a single thing to us. I don't want something like that happening to you, okay? So make sure you have a plan ready for something like that and make your choice quickly. Believe in what your gut is telling you about Brent. Thank you, Mom. I understand there's not much I can do to help, but if you need anything, please call me. And if you have anything you need me for, call me. But you have Aunt Vanessa with you now, so I'm sure you'll be alright. Just make sure you get lots of rest and have that arm heal up.
Hey, Monica, where are you right now? You have to answer your husband's call before he gets to 3 or else you'll be in trouble, alright?
I'm on my way home now. Did something happen to you?
Huh? You're coming home now? What the hell are you thinking? I'm already at home now.
What? What do you mean you're already up the house? It's only 4 p.m. What the heck happened to you that caused you to be home this early? Did you start to feel sick?
Not really. I was just out on my break at work and was told that I could head home right from there. I guess I had nothing else to get done today at work, so I chose to go home like they said.
You were out on your break when they said that. I thought you told me you didn't really have any breaks there anymore after being moved into the sales department, right?
Well, about that. There's a lot of things going on at the office right now. Now let's talk about dinner.
Once I get home, I'll get right on it.
You freaking slowpoke. I've told you this plenty of times now. I want you home when I'm home from work, and you have to have dinner and a bath ready for me. I'm the one bringing in the money for this house, so the least you could do is feed me and get things ready for me to rewind after my day at the office. Are you trying to tell me you want a divorce?
Why would something like this immediately lead you to wanting to talk about a divorce?
If you don't want to be divorced like your mom was, then you need to stop making me pissed off. All right then. I'm going to get that paperwork right now.
What?
I don't think you're afraid enough of me yet. I think by having the divorce papers in my hands at all times filled out, that'll get you really worked up about things and make you want to act serious about your chores, right?
You have to be joking, right? Divorce is not something you should be using as a way to threaten your wife all the time.
I'm not just threatening you because I will seriously hand them in. I'm ready for it if you are. With you out of the house, I won't be in any trouble unlike you.
You would seriously hand those in. Are you not even thinking about working together with your wife anymore to make this relationship we have last?
You think I will work together with you and continue this relationship? All you are to me is a simple wife. You have no idea how many women there are just like you in this world.
Understood. Only 20 more minutes or so and I'll be at the house.
Then during that 20 minutes, I'm going to stop by the courthouse and get those divorce papers. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing not coming back to the house for 3 whole days? I told you not to worry about your mom anymore, right? I saw you leaving the house with those big bags saying you were dropping them off at your mom's place. But for those past few days, you haven't come back here to do the laundry or cook any food. Are you listening to me? How much longer do you plan on hiding at your mom's? Hurry up and come back here so you can take care of your husband.
Excuse me, but who am I talking to right now?
Huh? Stop with the freaking BS. You know dang well that I'm your husband.
But I'm a single woman now.
What the hell did you just say?
I handed in my divorce papers 3 days ago, and then I became single again.
Divorce papers?
But you and I had both signed them, all right? Well, I took all of those into the courthouse to be processed for us.
Wait a sec. I never heard anything from you about handing in those divorce papers, though.
you signed them with me, and you said you wanted a divorce, right?
Wait. But you handing those in without my approval is messed up. I only had those signed by the both of us in order to get you to worry more.
But I wanted to divorce you then, and having you go out and get everything set up for me really helped it out.
You wanted a divorce?
Well, when it comes to a married couple, they both have to work together to continue the relationship, right? But you were asking me to do all this work by myself. Get dinner ready for you before you got home from work, and have bath ready for you. And that last time where you came home earlier than normal and still expected things to be made up for you, and that was the last straw. I know you were only coming home early because they were barely paying you anything, right?
Wait, hold on. What do you mean they barely pay me anything?
You always told me you were the one supporting me with all your money, right? But the money I had to use every month for the house and the food primarily came out of my savings. About 70% of my savings would go into that. And what about the other 30? Well, it had to go to the things like Wi-Fi and a TV bill. I was paying more for the house than you were making from your job is what it seemed to me.
Wait, you're lying, right? I was the one paying for all of that, right?
You think that the money you bring in would actually support 2 grown adults living in the house? From what I noticed, you only put $400 into the house and the rest you spent on yourself. And as for all the money I had saved up and was making part-time, it all went right into the house and nowhere else.
But that's absurd.
But I was still your wife at the time, and I told myself something like that was not a cause for divorce. So I made sure to keep living like that, thinking someday things between you and I would get better and you'd start to care more actually supporting the house. I really thought back then you would actually come around and start helping out again. My parents had to get a divorce and I didn't want as well because I thought that it would really sadden my mom, and that's why I stuck with it for so long with you. I really didn't want my mom to be upset with me, but look where we are now.
If you don't want her to be upset, then take back those divorce papers.
But when I really put some thought into it, my mom is far more sad about me not being happy when I'm around you. That's why I've gone with my gut feeling and chose a path that I won't regret later.
Are you telling me that choice was divorce?
Well, in your case, you don't love me anymore, right? Well, I wanted a new life for myself. One where I can start working full-time again and not have to waste all of my money on a house each month. And I'm sure you wanted me gone as well after threatening me all those times. So see this divorce as a win for both of us, okay? We don't even love one another anymore, so why try and force something that's not there?
Are you sure you're okay with that? You're gonna regret this.
Well, we had been at this for over 2 weeks, getting everything ready for the divorce, right? I already have all my things with me and everything, so you can do what you'd like in that house because I'll never be back.
Well, if you come running back to me wanting to get married again, don't expect a single reply from me. Because I'm not getting back together with you. I don't care how much you regret and apologize for it. I'm not forgiving you. You're going to learn just how unhappy life can be after divorce. I had just come around to liking you as my wife, but now you've gone and ruined it for yourself. And you're really going to regret it. Hey, what does all this mean? What are all these documents talking about?
Ah, you got those already. I had talked with a lawyer about things, and those are the documents you wanted sent to you.
A lawyer?
If you took a good read through them, then you probably already know what it is. But they are about the distribution of our properties as well as a settlement I'd like from you.
I can understand things like distribution of our things, but what's this about a settlement? If anything, I'm the one that's been wanting a settlement from you. You gave up your job as my wife.
That's not even something you can sue me or get a settlement from me through, right? I just happened to realize you are an awful person, and that's why I no longer wanted to love you anymore.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about that last straw. Remember the day you came home from office at 4 p.m.? You told me you were on a break and then told to go home because there was no more work for you to do, right?
That's what I told you, right?
Well, I was right to trust my gut like my mom said. Because when you said that to me, I had this feeling you had been cheating on me, and that's what led to the last straw and my love for you leaving me. So I went ahead and looked into the things a little more, And you weren't told to leave work early. You took later half of your day off work. You took the day off work so that you could go out with another woman on a date, right?
You looked into that? How far did you go?
Well, it took me 2 weeks to prepare me for the divorce we both wanted, right? And during that time, you continued to go out with another woman while I was at home preparing. I also happened to run into one of the women you've been with. And she happens to be one of the new employees at your office, right?
So this is what's led you to want a settlement for me?
And I'm hoping to get all that money from you as well as half of your savings in one payment, please. When my dad left my mom, he never left the family anything, not a single penny. So I'm doing as my mom told me. And that's getting every last penny out of you that I can before you have the chance to run away.
Hold on a second. I might have been out with some other women, but it was just for fun, all right?
That's odd, because after I've been gone for the past week or so now, you have one of the girls living in that house with you, right?
What? What do you know about that?
I just happen to have a good friend that lives nearby to the house, and they have been watching you since the day I left. And they said the moment I had left and told you about the divorce, you had another woman in there right away, and have been seen off by her every morning before you go to work, right?
Well, that's...
But the fact that you are both living together already has helped me a ton. I was able to figure out who she was, and now I can get a settlement from the both of you, since she's been with you while you've been still married to me.
This was all just for fun, though, so stop getting so worked up about it. Are you jealous that I have other women around me that I can sleep with or something? If that's the case, I'll let you remarry me. You want to come back home now? I won't use any other woman anymore, and we'll focus more on you again.
Excuse me? Did you say use?
I started to use them for making food for me. And, well, after about 3 days of that, a lot of them, especially my main girl, would want to go out to dinner and stuff instead. And this one that's been living with me now doesn't even know how to cook. She doesn't even do the dishes either. We've had to use paper plates, and when she does laundry, she'll toss my suit in the laundry machine as well.
Wow, that's amazing of her.
She told me she'd been living at her parents' house this whole time, and she never had to do chores. She said her mother taught her all kinds of things about chores. So I really need someone here that can get all that done for me, like you.
Well, what's so bad about the two of you staying together and both learning how to do chores? I don't want to be back with you for any reason, so go ahead and learn how to be an adult.
No, you have to be lonely, right?
No, because I no longer have to deal with a child that complains about wanting to only eat what they want every single day. Right now, I'm able to use my time for myself. I can eat what I want, do what I want, go where I want, all without some jerk yelling in my ear about it. Being single is way better than I remember it.
You're lying, right?
I do not want to marry you again, and I do not regret getting that divorce one bit. As those documents have told you, I want my share of the properties we had, and I want that settlement from you paid in one payment, please. If you can do that for me, then I'll be able to finally cut ties with you completely.
Hold on, okay, Monica? You and I have been married for a little while, right? Why did our marriage turn into something like this?
Can you take a look at all of the messages you've texted me over the past few months and ask me that question again? Maybe even ask some people around you about what you've said to me and see what they think. Now after this, everything is going to be left to my lawyer to handle, so please talk with him at some point this week.
You want me to talk with him now? Why can't I talk with you? Hey, Monica!
Because Brent had literally spent all his money on things like going out with other women and never actually being in a house with me. He had no savings, and therefore had to take out a loan to pay me. And when it came to the woman who had been living in that house with him after I left, she assumed he'd pay for her settlement as well. But he had no plans of doing that for her, and they got into a fight before breaking up, and she had to borrow money as well to pay me. After having lost everything, Brent started going around to people, showing them the messages he sent to me, looking for people to tell him he wasn't in the wrong. But just when he thought people would agree with him, he got the exact opposite response from them, and most, if not all those people left him. Even now, Life for him at work has been hell because most of his coworkers won't talk with him, and he's left sitting in his cubicle all day making the bare minimum the company offers him. But he still has a lot of debt to pay off after taking out that loan and a house to pay for, so he has no choice but to continue working there. And I've heard that recently, he's been starting to work more and more overtime in order to try and make extra money for everything.